if Palmer or Nasser has a wobble and Van Doorn keeps up the pace that he has, keeps up showing the potential that he's got. Yellow flags waving for Coletti. Tries to get out of the way of his teammate. Then maybe Van Doorn, maybe Van Doorn has a shot at even running for the title in his rookie year. Coletti then, this is down at what the Belgians call piff-paff, over onto the gravel. Keeps the rears lit to keep him out of the barrier and spins it around. That could have been quite a big accident for Stefano Coletti, and his rivals will not thank him for spreading gravel all over the circuit. And a big lock-up for Quaife Hobbs coming into the chicane. Marcello pits, Van Doorn then is just coming out of the pits, and when this little replay finishes, we will be there or thereabouts. 10 minutes of the session remaining. Coletti then steps out of the car. Session over for him, but fortuitously, oh, red flag, okay. Wasn't expecting that. Interesting to see a red flag there. I mean, we are theoretically fairly close to an exit point. The clock continues to count, though, under this red flag. The session will be brought under caution, though, in order to remove that racing engineering car from the track. As I said, he'll be disappointed not to have finished the session, but given Coletti's poor luck around this track and the huge accidents that he has encountered here, he will, I'm guessing, to a certain extent, consider himself quite fortunate. Now, if he'd hit the anchors there, I don't think we would have had a red flag, but allowed the car to roll backwards onto the circuit without putting the brakes on. Will he be in trouble for that? I'm not sure. It's not the smartest move he's ever made, certainly. And look at the wind picking up around the track. Air temperature still down at 50. It really is cold. It really is cold. I remembered my umbrella this year. I forgot my thermal underwear. It is very chilly around the circuit. There is Coletti then, out of the car and in one piece, as his team watch on. Francesco Pont from the Ferrari Driver Academy, who obviously is there with Marcello, just having a chat with Alfonso d'Orleans Bourbon, team boss at Racing Engineering. Alfonso's been there, he's done it, he's seen it all. He's had great drivers race for him over the years. Young German by the name of Sebastian Vettel at one point raced for Alfonso. He knows talent when he sees it. And he has, I think, one of the stronger lineups in the championship this year with Coletti and Marcello. Marcello certainly benefiting from the experience of Stefano Coletti. Coletti benefiting from having a fast teammate pushing him all the way. As the clock continues to tick. 8 minutes or thereabouts remain in the session. Back up in the pit lane, there is Marcello, his teammate, as some of his rivals make their way back in. It's a long lap here in Spa. The fastest man around it so far, though, is Julian Leal, 157.877. Cecotto is P2. Marcello is third from Berton and Van Doorn. Canamassas, P6. Coletti spun out, but is P7. Riquelme, P8. Behind them, then, 9th is Mitch Evans. 10th is Quaife Hobbs. Palmer still 11th. Nasser still 13th. Other than that, it's pretty much positions as one would expect. So the Belgian marshals, and I'm guessing the car may have stuck itself in gear, which is why they can't just roll it off the track. There is that easy access point at the side of the circuit, but the fact they're having to lift it up and remove it from the track on the flatbed suggests to me perhaps that Coletti was unable to get the car back into neutral. the interesting thing here at Spa. You see that glorious sunshine up at the top half of the track and also down here at the bottom. But then, right up at the top of the hill, at the end of the Kemmel Straight, dark clouds, and you see the wind howling through the trees. Spa, of course, like Nürburgring, everyone always says it has its own little microclimate. It can be raining at one corner and bone dry on the rest of the track. That is, of course, something that the drivers have to take into consideration. As the Trident boys reattach the nose onto Cannamassas' car. And Cannamassas, well, I think that the team will be very happy with this session so far, with Cannamassas 6th and Cecotto in 2nd. It's a very positive run. The Caterham duo of Haryanto and Dillman. Will the drivers get back out on track? Just 5 minutes now remain. And if they do get out on track, is there any point to it? A lap around here taking just about 2 minutes. Session will restart in 1 minute. So there will be 4 minutes left exactly. So that's enough for an outlap, a flyer. And if you're out really quickly, possibly even a second flyer. Chances of anybody improving their time, therefore, slim. Marshals would do well to get off the circuit. 30 seconds remain until the session is live. And so, who goes out? Oh, Nasser will not be going out then. So Nasser calls it a day, down in P13. That's it. That's your lot for the birthday boy. He's done, a 158.658. Puts him 0.781 off his teammate Julian Leal, but I don't think we've seen the full hand yet from Nasser or indeed from Palmer. Palmer, though, on the old hard tyres will go out just for another couple of laps. And why not? At this point, it's worth every extra bit of data. A couple of drivers on the right-hand side then running a few practice starts. And you cannot fail but be impressed by Eau Rouge. Whether they're just ambling through it at half throttle or whether they're gunning it flat chat, it is such a true test. So it looks like Berton's just come out. Coletti obviously will not be coming out. He's retired from this session. Izawa will not be going back out. He's had enough. Nasser is staying. Well put. With just over 2.5 minutes remain. The clouds still roll in. I think we will avoid the rain, but possibly only just. Lovely shot here. Coming, I think, is this coming down into Pouillon? That was a lovely shot either way. There, though, is your fastest man of the session. Julian Leal, 2 minutes remain. I don't think we'll see an improvement. And good to see Leal back at the top of the timing sheets, having run without points for seemingly so long. Cecotto then for Sector 1 is just a little slower, not much. running down the hill then into Pougon. I'd say Cecotto's fairly far off right now. Nobody's going to improve on these laps. But Cecotto will be confident running into qualifying that once again he does clearly have the pace. It is not out of the realms of possibility to think that Johnny Cecotto could compete for the championship. It is not out of the realms of possibility to think that Van Dorn in his rookie year could fight for the championship. There is still much to do this year. There is a long way to go, many points to be won. Jolyon Palmer is not going to have things all his own way. Felipe Nasr is in there, and any slight slip up from either Palmer or Nasr, and the following bunch will be on them in an instant. Cecotto then does not improve. Leal will stay on the top. Connor Daly, meanwhile, does improve. Nothing shocking about that. They always put on a fresh set at the end of the session. So Daly back up there with Berton. I think Berton's lap possibly a little more representative given the time of the session at which he set it. But for the Venezuela GP Lazarus guys to finish 4th and 5th is a good show from them. Leal, though, is your fastest man. 1:57.877 is the fastest lap of the day so far. It's still a decent wedge off the all-time record, but it is a Carlin at the top. Perhaps just not the one we were expecting. Julian Leal in P1 from Johnny Cecotto, Raffaele Marcello, Nat Berton and Connor Daly. So the flag waves for Leal, as it will do for Peak. And the Colombian now just has to repeat that this afternoon and try and take himself pole. Felipe Nasr, second in the championship, ultimately P14 at the end of that session, with Daly leaping up into 5th place. It's pushed everybody else down one place. Nasr, one of those drivers, of course. Palmer, another. He will finish in 12th. Nasr will have to put his balaclava and his helmet back on, jump back in his car and drive it down the hill to the GP2 pit lane, which exists on the run down from La Source to Eau Rouge.